that you need $5,000 to $10,000 to make that a reality, I'm going to take you through a little scenario here. See, what's awesome about this, as you start to tell others, and they tell others, and they tell others, which is exactly what's going on here, you now have the ability to earn commissions down through as many as 8 levels of referrals removed from you. That's something called leverage. I forget when this happened, but J. Paul Getty, at the time he said this, he was the richest man in the world, and he talked about, let me have 1% of 100 people's efforts versus 100% of my own any day. Well, now I'm going to take you through a little concept here where you can leverage yourself and leverage your efforts through that of other people by building a team of like-minded individuals. Now, if you recall, the first 2 referrals that we talked about, the company sent you a referral check for $285. Now, keep in mind, these individuals have the same option as you do in that they can tell others who tell others who tell others, and on your first 2 referrals, you have the ability to earn down through as many as 8 levels of referrals in increments of $285. Now, we talked about your third personal referral, which would start your 2A team. With this team here, you're going to get paid in increments of $570, not only on the individual that you personally sold that product to, but as they tell others who tell others who tell others, you now have the ability to earn commissions in increments of $570. And for illustration purposes, we just show one telling one who tells one, but keep in mind, you have the ability to tell as many people as you want about this technology, and needless to say, the more people that you tell, the more sales you're going to have and the more money you'll end up putting in your pocket. And in this situation here, if that's your 2A team and you started, and if you told a friend of yours, he tells someone who tells someone, they host a little get-together and 6 sales result from that, you now have the ability to earn 6 times $570 in that situation. Now, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the team building dynamics. Again, unlike traditional businesses, we have a vested interest in helping you to succeed. So from here, our objective is to take these 3 teams, and our goal here is to develop a group count of 10 sales. That's 10 group sales. The reason you want to do that then is because with your next referral, you're going to start what we call a 3A team, in which case you're going to earn 3 times what you earned when you initially started, or $855 on your sales as well as your team sales. Now, from there, we go to 20. So our goal now is to take all of our teams, and our objective is to get 20 group sales, because as soon as you do that, on your next personal referral, you're going to start a 4A team, and that team is going to generate you referral checks to the tune of $1,140. And keep in mind, it's the same presentation. It's going to require the same amount of time, effort, and energy. The only difference here is you're getting paid 4 times what you did when you started. And from here, our goal is to get to 50. And keep in mind, these are 50 group sales. It's a cumulative approach. In other words, you can take as long as you want to get there. Once you're there, you're always there. You're never going to lose a position within our company. So once you've got a group count of 50, as you start your next team, on your next personal sale, you're going to generate a referral check for $1,425, or 5 times the amount that you started with in the beginning. Okay. Now, from 50, our next target is 100. And before I get into this, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. This is assuming you're looking to generate a $5,000 to $10,000 a month income. In other words, give yourself some options. If you're sick and tired of that JOB, here's a viable option. But for it to be a viable option, it's going to take some work on your end. So from 50, our next target is to get to 100. And again, keep in mind, this is a cumulative count. And so you can take as long as you like to get there. It's all dependent on, how quickly you want to get to your goals. Now, once you're at 100 sales, now your commissions are $1,710. And just to put that into perspective, you guys, let's just say you got to 6A, and let's just say you need $5,000 a month to walk away from what you're doing. Well, if you just do the math here, 3 sales while you're a 6A, that would give you that $5,000 a month income, not to mention other people telling others who tell others, which could actually end up being a whole lot more. Now, this chart here will just kind of give you a little breakdown in terms of what's available. And keep in mind, we're building different teams. So here's where we started, and then we're going to move to 2A, to 3A, to 4A. And in order to do that, we've got to have the group volume, and it always requires a new personal sale on your end, but that will just give you some idea in terms of what's available here within this business model. And I tell you what, I've been around the home-based business arena now for 15 years. I've seen a lot of companies out there in the marketplace making it happen, but I think that these guys have got an absolutely incredible business model. As a matter of fact, they are generating checks and commissions through this business plan bigger than anything I've seen in the 15 years that I've been out there. Now, for you big thinkers out there, I want to take you through a scenario where you can actually see for yourself the scope and the magnitude of this business model. Remember earlier we talked about the idea of getting to 6A, and keep in mind, to get to 6A, that means between you and your team, that resulted in 100 sales, okay? Now, if this is me, I want to take you through a quick scenario. If this is me and my wife and we decided to host a little get-together in my home, I want you to understand, to see for yourself what kind of incentive my 6A would have in helping us to make that a success. Well, remember, we talked about 50 invites, 20 people come out, and 6 people were to buy. Well, if that's me and my wife, we made $2,850 in that scenario. But if we're brand new, if we didn't know what we were talking about, my 6A is someone I would call upon for support. Why the 6A? Well, keep in mind, if my 6A helps me to pull that off, remember, he's now getting paid in increments of $1,710 off the same 6 sales that we generated. And for him, his vested interest in my group success is 6 times $1,710, or better than $10,000. Okay, I think that will give you an idea. For a couple hours worth of work, a 6A has a major vested interest in their team's success. Now, there's a total of 6 streams of income. I'm going to just quickly touch on 2 of them. You already heard me talk about the fact that you can earn anywhere from $285 all the way up to $1,700 off of your productivity as well as your team's productivity. The other stream of income that I want to talk about is what we refer to as international revenue sharing. You see, last year we did $250 million in sales, and what our company does is they take 3% of that on a quarterly basis and they set it aside in this revenue sharing pool, and that's available to the leadership in this company. Now, how do you participate in this revenue sharing pool? It's very simple. First of all, you yourself have got to get to the 6A position. And keep in mind, to get to 6A, that required between you and your team 100 sales. Now, from there, your next objective, if you will, is to help 2 other independent teams to get there as well. And why would you want to do that? Well, now you have a vested interest in to help them to get to the same position that you were at, and that's a 6A distributor. As soon as you've done that, you are now promoted to a 6A2 position. That then will entitle you or allow you to participate in the revenue sharing bonus. And how that works, you guys, is that for every 6A team that you help to develop, you get 1 point in terms of the revenue sharing pool. Now, keep in mind, to get to 6A, you help 2 teams to get there. And for every point that you're awarded, that point carries with it a monetary value. Last quarter, just to give you an idea as to the potential here, each point was worth $16,000. So if you helped 2 teams, which is what you need to get to the 6A2 position, you helped 2 teams to get to the 6A position each, that means that you've got 2 points in terms of the pool, and each point being worth $16,000, so 2 times $16,000 per point, that's $32,000 for the quarter. Now, obviously, that monetary pool is going to fluctuate from quarter to quarter, but if it was to remain constant over the course of a year, off the revenue sharing pool alone, you're looking at better than $100,000 just off the revenue sharing pool alone. And, you know, to put that into perspective, think about this. There's 300 million people in this country, yet less than 3% of them earn a six-figure-a-year type of income. You just saw off of one component of our business model how someone can do that. And what if it took 2 or 3 years? Okay? What if it took 4 or 5 years? Think about this, okay? The definition of insanity is to continue to do the same things over and over and over.